mode.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Pablo Villaresa from Criterion. Welcome and thank you for attending this Quite For Me webinar. Today's webinar is about customer segmentation, profiling, and prediction based on RFM analysis. During the following minutes, I'll show you how you can easily use RFM segmentation to identify and profile your best customers and to predict who can potentially become good customers among those non-active ones. Customers who spend more money more frequently and in less time are more propensive to buy again. This is based on the well-known RFM analysis. RFM stands for recency, when the customer placed the last order; frequency, how many orders the customer placed in that period of time; and monetary, how much money the customer spent. It relies on the premise that someone who recently bought something, who shopped often, and who spent a lot is more likely to respond to your next campaign or offer, rather than someone who bought something a long time ago, shopped infrequently, and spent next to nothing. RFM analysis can be applicable to email, CRM, or web analytics metrics. How are we going to proceed in this webinar? Well, during this webinar, we will show you how to define these three variables and how to consolidate them, setting a global RFM classification for all our customers. We will do this with our engineering module. As well, we'll profile our best RFM customers, trying to get knowledge out of them. And finally, we'll go one step forward, trying to predict future behavior among non-active customers. So let's get into business with Quite For Me. I'm just logging into the platform. Right. We have here in Quite For Me, I have loaded different databases. We are going to use the retail database. This database is going to contain 1 million customers, 5 million baskets, and 24 items, more than 24 million items. So the first thing I would like to show to you is, if we go back to the presentation, defining these RFM variables. I'm going to show you how to do one of them, for example, and then I'll show you the other ones that I have already created on the fly. For that purpose, I'm going to use the enrichment model. This is going to enhance our analytical model, allowing power users to work on the fly autonomously. So let's get there, for example, the frequency. We are going to define the frequency as the distinct number of times per month that each customer buys on a specific set period of time. Let's say 6 months study. So we're going to do, for that purpose, we have the baskets, and here is containing the different dates of each purchase, and we have the customers. So I'm going to count how many different times each customer buys per month. For that purpose, I'm going to do an aggregation and say, let's call this variable frequency per month, where I'm going to count distinct times this customer per each month comes to my shop. But I don't want all of them. I'm going to apply a condition that the number of months has to be on the last 6 months. So if I order, you can see here that the 6-month period is this one. So I'm going to change this and say I want greater or equal to 2011-08. That's August. So if I create this variable, I'm counting how many distinct months these customers counts in the last 6 months. I will have, as you can see, I have customers who have never come in the last 6 months, 262,000 of them. I have 295,000 of them who came only once in the last 6 months. And I have 3,247 customers who has at least come once every month. Quite interesting. Right. Let me show you how I created other variables, the monetary value. So if I edit, you can see that I have summed all the profit I'm getting from the transaction level, and I'm counting only those transactions, those baskets of the last 6 months. As well, I have to calculate the recency. In this case, this is quite an interesting one, because I realized that I just wanted to find out how many days have elapsed between the last order of each customer to the latest one. For that, I used an expression, one of our other engineering tools, using one of these functionalities, the days to functionality. It's telling me how many days between two date fields, the last order of each customer or the maximum of any of them. So if I explore this variable, you can see, once created, on the frequency distribution, that many of our customers who purchase on the last 6 months have a recency less than 60 days. Right. And now, if I go back to the presentation, once I have defined these 3 variables, I would like to set a global RFM classification. How do I do that? Well, I'm going to try to qualify each customer based on the frequency, monetary, and recency in 4 groups. Just to simplify this example. In this case, for the frequency, I created a decode using another of our engineering tools, saying if it's going to be 1, 2, 3, or more than 4 times. Consider more than 4 times good customers in the last 6 months. Right. I did the same with a quartile on the monetary value. That's creating 4 bands where each band contains the same number of customers. And I did the same thing with the regions. If I edit this one, you'll see that it's another quartile. Right. So now that I have these customers graded on these 3 attributes, what I'm going to do is consolidate them all together on this RFM analysis variable. This RFM at the end is the combination of each of them, summing the first value of them. So basically, if I double click on each, I can see that I have customers who has an RFM value of 0 and customers of 12. Let me just explore it, drag it and drop it on the Explorer, and we'll see it in a much better way. These are the values and the frequency distribution, and this is the chart. Right. We have many customers with no activity, and then we have 2, 3, 1, 4, and so on. You can see here. What I can do now is I'm going to qualify these customers based on these values. So I'm going to decode them. Saying, considering that if their value of RFM consolidation is between 2 and 5, they are going to be low, between 6 and 9 mid, and 10 or over high by RFM customers. And 0, no RFM. So right now, if I go back to the Explorer and visualize this one, I have this frequency distribution, as well I have this visualization with other, I can use any of other visualization tools. Right. Now, I'm going to get these no RFM customers, because these are non-active customers. I will use this segment for later purposes. But let's leave them here in this temporary area. As well, I'm going to get the higher RFM customers, because these are my best RFM customers. And if I go back to the presentation, We're going to try to respond to the next question. What is the profile of our best